Hey guys, JJ here, back with another Thursday now of Zoom networking. We're moved from Wednesdays to Thursdays. Um, Got another great group of people and another great speaker, and we're going to be talking about a topic today that is becoming highly mentioned in social media today, and that topic is AI. And to talk on this topic, I'm going to bring my good friend on, Brian Fine, who I'd like to introduce. Brian is I've said this many, many times. He's one of the smartest guys I know. Has been a coach, an instructor, many years experience as a successful investor, leads by example, and is also my good friend. Mr. Brian Fine, how are you, Bri?
Doing great, JJ. Glad to be here.
Hey, it's always good to have you. So today, what are you going to talk about?
Well, like you said, there's every other post on social media, every other word out of somebody's mouth in the news is AI, AI, AI. That's all anybody's talking about. But the amount of people who successfully adopted it or have any understanding of how to use it day to day in their business is very low. And pretty much every course or class or educational thing you'd see on it is somebody selling you something. So we thought we'd just provide, I use it every single day for Always Capital and what we do. I thought we'd provide a nice little overview for folks to start using it in their own business without selling them anything.
There you go. So there's I hear so many people wanting to like sell AI training today, and they're um is that the way to go? Can we make a way to start learning without having to pay thousands of dollars for our AI? What's the best way to go about
Yeah, it depends on the scale at which you want to use it. For most of us as real estate investors, just doing some basic stuff, I'll show you today. It's pretty easy. You can use free tools and get the AI to actually just tell you how to use it. So it doesn't have to be that difficult. But
it? Wow.
but you want to go higher level, start creating bots that answer the phone for you and run your company for you and do all kinds of crazy stuff, then you're into larger dollars and larger development.
Yeah.
So there are about four major companies out there today for AI. Only two of them are really usable for free. The big one that came out first, your first market mover, is OpenAI. That's ChatGPT. You can get that and use it for free, or you can pay $20 a month to get some extra stuff out of them. So fairly simple. There are higher level business things, but while you guys are just playing with it a little bit, free version should be fine. The one I prefer is XAI's Grok, and it also has a free version. Though again, my preference is to use the paid version of this one because I use it every single day. It's crazy expensive. It comes with your X Premium account. I think it's $12 or $13 a month. So pretty simple. It works as both of those will work both as a phone app or mobile app and as a desktop. So what I'm showing you here is the desktop version of it. So for our uses as investors, most of what we need is text based. And so all the free stuff covers text. So it makes it pretty easy to use. But before I dive into how to use it, let's talk a bit about what these things are. Because unless you spend a lot of time watching sci-fi stuff, you might not really understand what they are. So what we call AI today is a LLM, or learning or large language model. And basically, what happened is they figured out all the math behind how linguistics works. It's all about languages, all languages. And so when we interface with these things, just like every other computer, they're a big glorified calculator. But this calculator can translate the words we say into the numbers it thinks in and then spit it back out as words again, which gives it the appearance of a computer that you can talk to and reason with. And as its learning gets more and more sophisticated, they become indistinguishable from humans. The current version of Grok, the XAI, is, according to Elon Musk, effectively has a PhD in every topic known to man. As far as I can tell, that's correct. Within a year, it'll be smarter than any human alive. And within 2 years, it'll be smarter than any human ever to live, ever. So it's a very, very powerful technology. but the adoption for it, especially in industries like real estate, is very slow, which leaves you guys opportunities to take advantage of it and use it without screwing it up. So today we'll talk a little bit about how to use it, what it can do, and that sort of thing. So the first thing about any kind of AI, whether you're using it on the mobile app or on the desktop, when we come into it, it just has a chat window. That's what I'm on now. Grok has a voice mode, which I don't have set up on my desktop here, but on your mobile, you can talk to it. It'll do text to speech. It'll also talk back to you. Most of what we need, though, can be done in the chat window. And you start by asking it something simple. Now, it is a calculator. And just like a calculator, if you didn't know anything about math, punching in a bunch of numbers without knowing what the pluses and minuses and all that meant wouldn't really get you results that were usable. These AIs are the same thing. The quality of the prompt you give it determines the quality of the output it gives you. So garbage in, garbage out. So one of the simplest examples of a use for it, let's do some market research. So I'm just going to ask it, what is the median home price in...
Let's go for Cleveland.
All right. And I'm going to send this off. Now, below this here, you'll see I got a couple of little buttons. This one's specific to Grok. It has auto. If I do the drop down, it'll, if you're using the free version, you guys only get Grok 3. If you have the paid version, you get Grok 4. The major difference between these, Grok 3 is going to give you really good stuff, but if anybody else asks the same question, it's just going to take the answer it gave them and spit out something pretty similar to you. With Grok 4, where it says thinks hard, it's going to take every single prompt I give it and give it a full new train of thought. It's going to fully research that. So that's the answer. That's the way I prefer it to be done. I want my own answer, not somebody else's. All right. So I'm going to hit this. And when we have it think, it'll actually show me what it's thinking. So I get to see in real time how it's doing that and what's going on. When you make it think, the response is not instantaneous. It'll probably take it, I would guess, around a minute to do this. But it's going to tell you exactly what it's doing the whole time. You can watch its brain. And so it's already telling me that I possibly made a mistake here, right? Some figures might be for Cleveland, the city, others for the metro area, causing confusion. So if I wanted a better result, I should have specified, do I want the city of Cleveland, Ohio, or do I want the MSA, the metro area? Specificity with AIs gets you better results, better questions, better answers. Then it's showing me, it went online, it's going and searching on Zillow and finding its answers there, and it's showing me the different sites that it's using. In essence, your modern AIs, Grok and ChatGPT, have fully replaced your search engines. You don't need your Google anymore. This will just do it for you. This is also, from a marketing standpoint, search engine optimization is already dead. Everything now is what we call generative engine optimization, which is how you get the AI to see your site and give answers. All right, so in a minute and 24 seconds, it finished that and gives me my answer. As of July, the city proper is at 133,000, 4% increase over the previous year. And the figures based on recent sales data, lower than the median. It's one of the more affordable major cities in the US. We're seeing a slightly lower price here, basically 130 for July from another source. And median listing price is about 139. So we can pretty safely say between 130 and 140 is the value of your median home price in Cleveland, Ohio. Metro area goes up to $250,000, probably because of some high price suburbs. So let's take this a little further. Let's say that we want to buy rental property in Cleveland, but we don't know anything about it. So let's have it do our market research there. Let's say, give me a list of Cleveland MSA. I'm going to specify the metro area. Cleveland MSA neighborhoods, ideal for rental properties. And I'm going to be more specific. I could just ask this and it would give me its opinion. It would actually go online and search for wherever anybody else says is good. I want it to do better than that. I want it to think for me. I want it to cross-reference data. I want it to give me the good stuff. So let's balance cash flow, crime rates, appreciation. What else really matters? Business-friendly magistrates, taxes. There we go. So now it's going to take into account all of these little variables. And again, I can watch it think. So it just does it by default in this little collapsed window, so I don't have to watch it. And it's going to go and do all this market research that otherwise we would have to do manually. I'd have to go look up crime rates. I'd have to go look up rents. I'd have to go look up cash flow numbers, all that fun stuff. It tells me its thought process, and then in 30 seconds, dumps out the neighborhoods I should be buying the thing along with the factors under which I should be buying them. How many hours do you think that just saved me? You guys see how this is pretty powerful?
Oh yeah.
And then, of course, I get my disclaimer up here. It's not a financial advisor. Thanks, Grok. I didn't know that. It's actually better than a financial advisor and will likely put them all out of business soon. Let's see. I see a comment from Roy. Does Grok have GPT-5, the new AI that was released last week and is supposed to be faster and smarter? There's a new AI released every week. ChatGPT or OpenAI and XAI are competitors. But if you want to be a little more accurate, Elon founded OpenAI, gave it to Sam Altman, left the company to go do his thing, and then created XAI because he felt that OpenAI was screwing it up. So you can take that for what it's worth. There'll be new versions of Grok shortly as well. All right, let's do this. Let's go one more thing. Okay, maybe I'm not looking to be a landlord. I want to flip some houses. So let's repeat this same search, but for fix and flip single family properties. Balanced for profitability, crime rates, days on market, and availability of assets. And I can't spell either. Grok doesn't care about my typos. It can read them anyway. It knows we're idiots.
I have one question, if possible.
Go ahead while it's thinking.
I want to know is that that's because I do it a lot of deals and I want to do it if this system can do it is underwriting for me.
Only if you can give it in extreme detail what underwriting means.
Okay.
So unless you could do that, as an example, if I give it, we have an underwriting spreadsheet that we use as a lender. If I filled that out and gave it to Grok, it could read it and I'd say, just tell me what this sheet says. And it would then summarize what the underwriting is for me. Could it replicate that? Not really, not in any fashion you want.
Because
Can it take into account specific variables for you? Like I'm thinking of buying it for this, selling it for that, accounting for all the costs. Would this be a deal for me, or what should I buy it at? It could probably use some sort of math to figure that out, but to replace an underwriting process, no, it really can't. Not its current form. Does that help?
Yes, I had some friend is he does on the ChatGPT 5 and what he did, he fitted all the book about the underwriting they fitted on the system and downloaded on it and they, analyze it and he does everything on the ChatGPT and he give it the information and it says, okay, give me possible, deal. And he analyze it for them and he give it the answer, how much is going to be income, how much going to be, that's information. That's how much
there are tons of tools like that. There are entire companies that are using GPT or XAI as the back end, and then they build their own little personal AIs that are customized, and they get trained their way. That's how most companies are using them. There's another really big one that you won't really find for public use is Gemini, which is the Microsoft one. It's being used very heavily in corporate America, but it's the same thing. It's isolated into the specific environment it's being used in. These ones, your ChatGPT and your Grok, they call them AGI, artificial general intelligence. They can kind of do everything. So if you want the more specialized ones, what you get into is either buying and creating it yourself, or you're going to pay somebody for the tool because they weren't able to create that kind of customization for free.
Okay.
Okay. That help?
That's beautiful. Thank you.
All right, so you can see in 1 minute and 9 seconds, we have the top neighborhoods along with all the variables I gave them of the neighborhoods I should be buying and flipping houses in Cleveland, Ohio.
Wow.
All right, just a couple seconds. And so here, uh, Old Brooklyn, high profitability, median purchase price of 147. ARVs are up 6% year over year, 50% ROI on rehabs, moderate crime, safer than some other areas, 25 to 30 days on market, good availability. There's a high inventory of fixer-uppers with over 50 distressed properties currently listed. It's family-friendly vibe, boost quick sales to buyers. All right, I don't have to think very hard to do this. I just had to know the question to ask. The important part here, guys, is the variables I gave it. I told it I was doing a fix and flip. I told it it was single family properties. Otherwise, it's going to get confused and start doing other types of real estate. I told it what variables to weigh. So you need to know what those are. If you give it a really general prompt, it's going to give you a really general or poor answer. It's going to try to assume what you mean, and it's going to be incorrect. All right. When you use these AIs, it breaks up your sessions into conversations. There's a feature here on the left in Grok called projects where you can group a bunch of things together, but usually it has a selective amnesia. It only remembers what happened in the conversation it's in, which I actually find really convenient. I just use new conversations for everything I want to do. So this is my Cleveland research thread. I'll just open a brand new one to begin again and do something else. So let's talk a little bit about marketing. So JJ is all about the marketing and branding and getting yourself out there. And so just as an example, let's say we want to write a post to the people we're sending friend requests to on Facebook. So I'm going to give it just a little bit of details about me. I'm a real estate investor, and I'm looking to network on Facebook. And when I send a friend request, I want to accompany that with a direct message, introducing myself and asking them to connect. Write the message.
Would you need it, Brian, to say, I'd like to provide my number and ask them for theirs?
I'm actually screwing this up on purpose, JJ, but thanks.
Let's look
Yes,
at it.
yes.
Let's look at it.
More detail is better. This is not enough detail. And so this is what I get out. Hi, their name. I'm your name. It doesn't know who I am. I didn't introduce myself. A real estate investor based in wherever I am. I came across your profile and noticed your involvement in real estate investing, networking, or whatever specific connection you have. I'd love to connect and exchange ideas, market trends, potential collaborations. Name, whatever. All right, question for you guys. If I filled in all these brackets with the proper things, put their name, my name, and all that other crap in there, do you think anybody would respond to this message?
Guys?
No,
Why not?
because it's too generic. It's not personal.
Yeah, it's trash, right? The amount of AI written or person written garbage on social media outweighs the real stuff by an insane amount. Do you guys know what this is a artist term? Do you know what the uncanny valley is? Anybody know that term?
No.
Uncanny valley has to do with the way the human brain perceives a face. It's the distance between the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. And if those things are in a certain proportion, then we will consider whatever we're looking at to be human and have a face. It doesn't matter if it's a talking rock. That's how we get our anamorphic, whatever you call it, stuff, right? Talking cats. It's all good as long as the face looks that way. But if you mess with that ratio, if the eyes are too far apart or something like that, we immediately register that at a subconscious level as inhuman and don't like it. If you think of all the bad guys in some of your famous recent movies, like the Harry Potter stuff and Star Wars and all those, you notice they all didn't have a nose? They got rid of their nose because you inherently dislike it. It's a subconscious thing. That's breaking the uncanny valley. They do it on purpose. Well, there's an uncanny valley in writing, too. If the thing that is written looks like it was written by a machine, we're not going to like it. you're going to disregard it, and you're going to just not respond to whatever that came up as. So you're going to need to do a whole lot better. All right. And this is the secret sauce stuff, guys. This is what you're not going to learn on some random ass YouTube channel that you're going to have to learn from somebody who does this every day. Grok here can learn how I write, and it can learn to talk like me. In order to do that, it needs samples of my writing. Now, I can't go use an AI to write my stuff, or it's going to learn to write like an AI. I'm going to have to sit down and write something, or have something I already wrote. From what it told me when I asked it this question, it likes things that are about 1,500 words across various topics and in various tones. And the more you give it, the better it's going to be at copying you. So I'm going to go ahead and do a brand new conversation because I've already trashed this one. And I'm going to give it a new prompt. I'm going to say, I'm going to provide samples of my writing for you to analyze my voice. Respond that you are ready. All right, so it's going to think, it's going to figure it out. It took it 3 seconds to tell me that I'm ready. Please go ahead and share your writing samples for analysis. I'm going to click on my little attachment thing down here. I'm going to upload some files. Now, I already have these ready to go. You guys would need to have them ready. This is just a bunch of miscellaneous stuff I wrote on martial arts. I don't even think it's any marketing stuff. For Grok, you can upload up to 25 text files at a time.
Wow.
So just these are all, every single one of these are notes I took from martial arts class, other stuff. It's a whole smattering of random things, but what they all have in common is I wrote them, nobody helped me. So it's going to go ahead and read, I don't know, 20,000 words or so. And then it's going to analyze my writing style. It took it 8 seconds to do that. It breaks down the way that I write and the voice in which I do it. Now, in this conversation, Grok can copy me, and it can do so with apparently reasonable accuracy. We can test it, right? So now I can use a similar prompt to what I did before. I'm a real estate investor. And actually, I'm going to even be more specific. Specifically, I'm a private money lender I'm using Facebook to network with other investors to create relationships with the intention of turning them into borrowers of our funds. Craft a introduction message to send along with friend requests in my voice. Keep it short and no damn emojis because I don't use those. There we go. Hi, Brian. I'm a real estate investor running a private money lending fund. Saw your post on deals and networking. Figured we could connect, share insights, and maybe collaborate down the line. Looking forward to chatting. What do you think, JJ? Is that a little better?
Yeah.
Right? It can write like me. Now, this one isn't too bad, but I'm worried about the uncanny valley thing. So remember, especially when I get it to write longer stuff, the shorter stuff tends to work okay. Longer things, we risk that these are calculators of language, and they follow the most logical possible path to how they write. So even if it's trying to write in my style, use my words and that sort of thing, it will tend to use language patterns that immediately, if you've seen enough of these things, you will say, an AI wrote that, this is trash, and you will disregard it. So one of the last things I do, my final filter, besides my own reading, my final filter with the AI is I use a prompt to eliminate AI language patterns. All right. Now I can use a short prompt, but I actually have an entire conversation that I did over here where Grok and I discussed at length what the uncanny valley is and how it applies to AI. And then I made it write its own prompt to change any writing that I use to strip away any uncanny valley language. So I can just go ahead and copy this bad boy, go back here, paste it, and go. And now it'll rewrite my little post again. Probably won't change this one too much, but it's going to look for anything in that text that somebody might think an AI wrote, and it's going to change it while still making it sound like me.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you can see its thought. Again, I force it to think. If I hit this quick answer button, it'll do it really fast. It'll be a nanosecond thing. I like it to think. It gets me far better results. I love it. So it took it 38 seconds. Didn't change it too much because it's so short. Hey, Brian here, running a private money lending fund in real estate. Spotted your stuff on Deals and Networking. Figured it'd be worth linking up trade tips, maybe even team up on something down the road. What's your take? I'd probably remove this "what's your take." I hate this "what's your take" thing. That is textbook AI shit. So you got to watch out for that. But the rest of it's good. And then I send this as my introduction message. Does that make sense to everybody?
It makes sense to me.
Yes.
Get how it works? You can use this for anything. So let me stop this screen share. I'm going to switch to the app now. All right. So when you use it as the app, we get some other options. Day to day, anything involving uploading files and that kind of thing, I prefer to do that on desktop. It's just easier than trying to do that on my iPad. But about 90% of what I do on AI, I can just do on my phone. You even get some options with the app that you do not have as on the standard desktop version. So the app is where they put all the latest and greatest features. So one of the big ones here on the right-hand side, you'll see these little buttons right above the text prompt. It says Customize Grok. This is something that ChatGPT does not do. This is unique to them. When we do the customization, it has some pre-written ones. This modifies its personality and becomes a rule of how it responds to you that goes over top of everything else. So it's got 3 pre-written ones. Socratic method, which is if you wanted to teach you something. These things can teach you math, science, language, anything you want to do. They are better than any professor known to man. You have a fully customizable PhD on hand who never gets bored with talking to you. So as a learning tool, this is possibly unparalleled in human history. So you may want to use it for, some stuff. It can totally teach you real estate. It knows it. And in fact, it knows all the latest and greatest laws for it. So it can be a far better teacher than any guru you've ever heard of. Formal, if you wanted to write really formal stuff or do things like that, I find that really boring. Concise makes it really short, which is kind of nice. And then you can also customize. You guys can see my customization involves stripping away all of the censors that they put on it. I don't mind if it swears at me. I don't care if it's politically incorrect. I just want answers to my questions, and I can't be offended. I just want information. So that's how I prefer it, and I like it to be sarcastic with me too when I'm being an idiot. So you can customize it and have whatever you'd like there for yourself, which is a pretty powerful thing to do. With GPT, Gemini, DeepSeek, which is the Chinese one, try asking DeepSeek about Tiananmen Square, and you'll get an example of what I mean. You're not going to get an answer. It's going to ask you to talk about something else. All right, so that's pretty cool. We have the same functionality with the, you can pick how you want it to behave. We can still upload docs, though it's off an iPhone, so it does what it does. It also has companions, which are these little cartoon characters here. I do not find these useful myself. These are more of a toy. Valentine and Annie, or if you want a AI boyfriend or girlfriend. Good Rudy is for telling stories to your kids. So if you want to do a kid-friendly version, that's pretty cool. Bad Rooney is an absolute asshole. So if you would like to be insulted in all kinds of interesting ways by a raccoon, or red panda, I think he is, then go to town. But I don't find that very useful. The personality overrides what I'm trying to do with it instead of just letting it get done. The Imagine is the new toy they just came out with. This is for image editing. There are AIs, Midjourney being the most popular one that does images. That is a paid service. Grox is pretty new and getting better every day. It does some cool stuff though. So if I take that's pictures of my kids, and that's a loaf of ube bread, and it just added in the cutting it. It made that up. So it'll turn it into these little 6-second short videos like vines for you. Really easy to do, kind of fun. We can generate images. We can also edit images. So let's do an image edit. So let me take this picture of me and my kids, and I can just tell it what I want. They're pretty good at doing basic image editing. So give the 3 people in the photo big blue anime eyes. And it'll think about that a couple of seconds and generate 2 examples for me to go off of, and I can pick which one I like more. Definitely the second one is
Definitely.
more accurate to what I did or wanted, right? So you can do those kind of things. When it comes to doing video and that kind of thing, the prompts need to be extremely, extremely detailed to get you what you want. So the other thing, I won't bother showing it because it's really easy. You can use it to write contracts, which is lovely. Just tell it what state it's operating in. It's really good at that stuff. Every AI gets 100% on the bar exam every time. They are basically the perfect paralegal because their data set includes every law ever written in US history and all the case law, and they can reference it all in real time. So you can get it to give you draft contracts really easy. If they're for little, not super important things, then you can just use what it gives you. Take it, throw it into a Word doc, print it out, sign it, get your counterparty to sign it, and go to town. We use it to modify docs a lot. So if I need something changed, I'll take the text version of my contract and have it edited. Hey, I need a provision in this that allows a lease back or something. It'll add all that in. It needs to be legal and good for closing in the state of Ohio. It can change all that stuff for you. But as always, and it will tell you this anytime you try to use it for any kind of contract, it is not a lawyer. It will not defend you in court in the event that one of these things goes south. So if there's a lot of liability riding on it, I would use your AI friend to get it drafted and then send it over to the lawyer, which saves them a few hours to edit the doc and make sure it's good. So definitely consult your properly licensed attorney and all that stuff. Okay. So that's your basic AI 101. Big fan of Grok. ChatGPT works basically the same way. All right. So any questions? We can do some Q&A on it now.
You know, I saw in the chat here, Brian, something someone shared here. Um, that Roy had mentioned that we can upload blueprints
Yeah.
and tell it everything that you needed to do. Wow, it's amazing.
It's actually, it goes a step further than that. If you put the Grok app on your phone, here's some non-business ways I use it that are super useful. It has access to your camera. So I will open up my fridge, take a picture of my fridge, of the contents of the fridge, and then say, I want Mexican tonight. Give me a recipe, and it will spit out what I should cook. And it's really good at that. So that kind of thing. It can read blueprints. There is a doctor mode that is pretty cool. It can read X-rays and charts really accurately too.
Wow.
Very cool stuff. Anything data based, and they're getting better and better and better. You can upload spreadsheets to it, have it interpret them. A good one, if you're a news or political junkie and you'd like to significantly lower your blood pressure, instead of relying on CNN, Fox News, or whatever other trash network you happen to be into, you can just go to the Library of Congress. You can pull whatever the entire text, all 50,000 pages of whatever they're talking about, upload that text document into Grok and say, summarize this for me. And you can even say specifically look for anything that would affect whatever issue you happen to give a shit about. And in a couple of seconds, it will break all that down along with the implications for it. And then it can go ahead and give you a far better read on whatever is going on than you get from any general media source. So all that stuff is available. Can summarize books and any data you can feed it, it can do. So I know I mentioned AI before. I actually had a couple of people on after my last call. We talked about AI for I think just a couple seconds, and they reached out about it. The future based on this technology is unreal. It is absolutely insane. It already is damn near at the point where it can replace every white collar job on the planet. As soon as robotics kicks in and Tesla Optimus is basically there already, within 5 or 6 years, they'll be able to do manual labor as well. And so now you have a superior intellect that is able to then go ahead and do things like cook your food, clean your house, build your house, all that sort of stuff. So the implications of that are staggering going forward, absolutely insane. So when we talk about building our personal wealth and our wealth journeys and that kind of thing, guys, you got about 10 to 20 years before this technology will effectively make the entire economy as we know it obsolete. So that's pretty much where that sits. Not meant to scare you. If you have kids and they are going to be in the next 20 years in the workforce, and you'd like them to make money instead of just being subject to whatever everybody else is, then I strongly, 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 strongly suggest they get into the trades. Carpenters, HVAC, electrician, plumber, those sort of things, those will be the last jobs to go. That would be the most specialized robotics, the most difficult stuff, the most expensive to make cost effective. So that'll give the longest horizon, and it's already in extreme demand, and the price is just going through the roof. So at this point, somebody who's a plumber, electrician, HVAC guy, you can probably print your ticket for 150 to 300,000 a year for the rest of your life if you feel like it. Pretty easy. So you're doing them a disservice if you tell them to do anything else. The first casualty of the AI war is computer science. So all your software developers out there, the amount of them who are now unemployed or possibly on the chopping block in the near future is insane. Because if you think these things are good at writing your random responses, wait till you see how they code. Microsoft has already announced their next operating system won't look anything like anyone that's ever happened before. You're basically going to have the computer from Star Trek. You're just going to talk to it and it's going to create what you want. Next generation video game or movie is just you say, I want to watch a movie about the Civil War, telling me a story about the Battle of Gettysburg, and it will freaking create it for you on the fly in real time, unique to you. And none of this stuff is unreal. It's based on the current technology. It's just kind of got to get there. So that's your state of AI.
I was going to say this is amazing. So the best way for people to start, you say, is with the Gronk software.
I love Grok. You can use it for free. You can download the app. I use the paid version. You can use ChatGPT. That's the other major one. They're both going to work pretty similar overall.
And
ChatGPT has some sensors in it that Grok doesn't, but otherwise they're about the same thing for all practical purposes.
how much is the paid one for Grok?
It's the premium plus account. I want to say it's $12, maybe $13 a month.
That's nothing. That's
So,
150.
and that's for an X premium account. So you get your blue check mark and you can monetize your accounts and promote your posts and all that stuff too. And we talked about this a little bit. It's probably in the not too eventual future, we can start sharing how to build a social media presence on X and do that, because that's a incredibly powerful and more real-time platform than Facebook.
Carla Drake, you're on Brian Fine. What's your question?
Yes, so I have a question. How does or what does the economy look like when this 10 or 20 years or less occurs? Like, what kind of economy will there be?
So I'm going to paraphrase, and the people who are really really smart and doing this instead of trying to answer myself. According to Elon, the most likely outcome is the robotics will be what really tips the scale, and that's about 5 years away. And so the Tesla Optimus bot will probably be the most in-demand product in human history. What is going to end up happening is we'll have specialized machines for all the manufacturing. So the cost of all manufacturing will plummet. And so the cost of everything simply goes down to the point where we can likely do, you can be an inventor, you can prototype stuff in real time with an AI. They'll create a physical prototype and send it right over to you, like overnight. A drone will bring it. According to him, this lowers the cost of living while raising its standard to the point that probably some form of universal basic income is the only feasible path. So that's a likely outcome. Uh, it's called the All In podcast. It's one of the biggest podcasts in the world. I think it's second to maybe Rogan. It's definitely the biggest business podcast. They do a All In summit, and I think that's in. I want to say it's in October, November, something like that. So last year's All In summit had Elon and Peter Thiel, and both of them were basically saying the same thing. There's an extremely high likelihood, about 80-85%, that this creates a golden age of all humanity. The 15% is actually has to do more with loss of purpose than Skynet. So we won't necessarily have a Terminator scenario so much, but the people won't have anything they have to do. And so what will likely happen is human made will start being a very valuable, just kind of like handmade today, but it will gain incredible value in its own right because it's things that people dedicate actual time and energy to. So the potential for self-actualization across the entire species is rather insane. But for all of us, if they institute universal basic income, I don't know about you guys, but I have no interest in being at the same socioeconomic level as everybody else. So I would rather start well ahead of the rest of the world before UBI kicks in and we're all effectively collecting a social security check. Does that help, Carla?
It does. Thank you.
You can go watch that All In Summit really easy. It's on YouTube, and just watch what they say about it. Because these are the people making the thing and funding it, right? They're the ones doing it. The other one that is very worth your time is the man's name is Palmer Luckey. You guys know who that is?
No.
He invented the Oculus Rift, the VR machine, which then got bought for a few $1 billion by Facebook, and then he was fired by Facebook during the 2016 election cycle for donating to the wrong political party. He went on to create a company called Anduril. They're about to do an IPO. And while I am like 99% a real estate guy, I will buy into that IPO without batting an eye. Anduril is a AI defense production company. So he's making the AIs that actually kill people. Listening to him talk is very fascinating. He talks about the ethics of it and the safety features that they put into it and how it all works. So if you get Elon, who's kind of optimistic, Peter Thiel was very negative, and between those two is Palmer Luckey and Anduril, and that's your three major ones. I have significant trust issues with Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, ChatGPT. The dude has done some Bernie Madoff looking stuff, as far as I can tell. So I'm not a huge fan. But he'd be another one to look and listen to. And then I can't remember the guy's name. Forgive me. The CEO of NVIDIA is the other one who's completely worth your time. He's the one making the chips that all these run on. So that's your thought leaders for this stuff. But for all practical purposes, this technology is here. It's not going away. It is a strategic asset that is a big political thing. The U.S. intends to win this war. We kind of gotta. This will be the AI capital of the world. It's coming whether you like it or not. So for our purposes, this can save us an insane amount of time. And we have a short window, another year or three, maybe, where if you use it, it is going to be a ridiculous force multiplier in your business.
Did that answer your question, Carla?
Great. Thank you, Brian.
Yep, sure thing.
Thank you, Carla. We got Ronnie coming in with a question, but before we do, we have in our investment world community many investors that are very young and have grown up with cell phones, grown up with Facebook, grown up with computers. We have many of us that did not grow up with cell phones and not grow up with computers and Facebook. For those of us that are didn't grow up with technology, what's the best way that you recommend people start learning how to use this? So just to get grok and start to tinker with this way.
What I would suggest is grab the Grok app on your phone. So as long as you got an iPhone or an Android, you can get it, and put it in Socratic mode, which is teacher mode. You just do customize, switch it to a teacher, and then start asking it how to use it. And it will give you a class on how to get into it and start crafting prompts and that kind of thing. And remember, if what it gives you is not good, it's not the machine's fault, it's yours. You didn't give it a prompt that it can work off of. So it needs a better prompt. So that'll be, just keep that in the back of your mind. Using an AI is all about the prompting. How do you do that?
Carla, you're on with Brian. What is your question?
Yeah, I have another question. That is, where do you see like lending? That's a white collar job as well. So your position as a lender and all the other lenders, is that something that's going away pretty quick?
Probably not. Banking, lending, it's AI could, in theory, reach a point where it can do a lot of the underwriting, which, I mean, we already have spreadsheets that basically do it. Our complexity is collecting the data, not processing the data. So at the end of the day, though, like, we're a private fund. Somebody still gave us money, and we're expected to get a yield on it. And banks are not going to change their model overly much either. So no, we're going to be here for quite some time. It's I would have significant trust issues with a piece of software controlling my my mortgage investments. That would be, we're going to want humans behind that for quite some time. And in the commercial lending side of things, this is even credit unions, banks, and that kind of thing. One of the big things they've resisted for years and years and years, and continue to do so on purpose, is they don't allow digital signing and remote. They don't even like remote notaries. Definitely no digital notaries. They aren't a huge fan, for the simple reason that they want somebody to come look them in the eye and sign the docs for their multi-million-dollar transaction, and that's not going to change. That attitude sticks. And even with the institution of something like a universal basic income, and I'm not really sure what that would look like, honestly. I don't know. That's probably, 10 years plus away, most likely. Things will have to change pretty significantly and become a problem before they institute it. But the housing and that kind of thing, that's not going to change. They're going to stick with nobody's going to lose personal property rights over that economic change. They'll still need to buy it, and so it'll still be the same parties that control the assets, and none of them are going to want them stolen or defrauded or hacked away or any of that. So we're still going to have a human aspect in real estate for, I would say, 20 to 30 years.
So in addition to the trades, which will be a good thing, then with white collar banking, lending, that's also not a bad arena to get into. Is
Yeah.
that what
Yeah. But finance in general will use it as a force multiplier. A good example would be as if you were a CPA. So if you ran a CPA firm and you had 100 accountants working for you doing all this stuff, what you will be able to do very, very quickly is go look at your top performing accountant. Go figure out who's the best out of all my people. And you fire the other 99, or downsize, or whatever term you want to use. You give the A player some AI tools and let them oversee the entire operation in a fraction of the time. That's kind of how that's going to work. You're still going to want a human to take the liability. Kind of like the biggest objection with the self-driving cars is not that the technology doesn't work. It actually works great. The Tesla stuff is really good. But who has the liability in the event that it kills somebody? And since they can't decide that, they will delay it for decades if they can. I don't know if they'll keep the self-driving down for more than a few more years, but they will fight it. And that's a good example of what will happen in finance and real estate and those sort of things for years to come.
So in addition to the universal payouts, if you will, there'll be universal housing as well.
Don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, they get the technology good enough, they'll be able to build ridiculously cheap and easy and robotically. But then who wants to live there? And who's going to give them the land? Nobody. They're going to have to buy it somewhere. And is it going to be located in a city or places where people want to be? Not without a big check. So there's still a lot of considerations there that socially we'll need to answer as a culture. And I don't think we're anywhere near ready to have that conversation yet. It's coming, but we got a couple years left.
All right. Thanks, Brian.
Sure. Everything after the screen share, guys, is just opinion, by the way.
Well, Brian, I guess we kind of got it wrapped up there. Hey, I had a couple of people asking questions about how to get a hold of you. They had,
Mhm.
they had questions about lending, and of course, now we have Always Capital, which is
Yep.
our lending entity. If people have looking for funding, what's the best way to reach out to you?
If you want to reach out to me directly, you can use the phone number right there, 412-212-6627. Probably going to text me because I'm on the phone all day. And otherwise, it's alwayscapitalllc.com is our website where you can submit your deal and we'll get you a quote and we'll get you funded.
Again, folks, if you want to get on more of our calls, if you're watching on YouTube right now, to get a hold of me to register for the group, just scan the turquoise QR code to register for the group. The purple QR code is to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And Brian, everybody else, we'll see them either on our Zoom calls or in social media, right?
Yep. Catch you online, on the phone, or in person.